Hey everybody, this is Melissa from White Castle with Books, and today I wanted to show you guys the books that I bought kind of for my birthday slash from our most recent Barnes & Noble trip. So I didn't really get a lot of books just for me for my birthday. My sister-in-law sent me 3 books that I'm really excited to get to, but I didn't buy anything for myself other than that because I have so many books that I haven't got to, and I would really like to catch up on some of those books before I buy more, because usually if I have a lot of books sitting around that I really want to get to, it just stresses me out, and I already have so many books that I need to read. So I didn't buy any other ones for myself right now, but I bought a bunch of children's books that I'm really excited about, and we've already been reading some of them, so I'll just go ahead and show you guys some of the ones that we got and have been recently enjoying together. So when we went to Barnes & Noble last time, I told my children that they could each pick one book. I have an 8-year-old daughter, and then I have a 5-year-old son, and another daughter that's almost 2 years old. So my 8-year-old daughter picked I Love You, Grace, which is kind of a generic book that has different names in this place where the name Grace is. But it was really cute because my youngest daughter is named Grace. So Elizabeth wanted to get the book that says I Love You, Grace, and it's cute. One of the things that's really fun is my little girl, my almost 2-year-old Grace, we always tease because she has this thing she does when she's eating something that she really likes, she hums. So it just kind of happened to be that in one of the things, it just goes through and has little rhymes that say things like, Grace, I love the little noises that you make each time you eat, taking teeny nibbles on a yummy, tasty treat. And it just happened to be really applicable because Grace, she hums when she eats something that she's enjoying. So we call it her hum of approval. So this turned out to be really cute. And I wanted my kids to just pick whatever book they wanted, so that I want to give them that positive experience every time we go to the bookstore. I mean, we don't let them do that every time, but when I let them pick a book, I usually let them just pick the one that they really want. So this turned out to be cute kind of just because of that, and Grace likes it because it's a book that has her name in it. So this is really fun. My 5-year-old picked Hungry Hungry Sharks, and this is actually a reader book. But so again, I just let them pick what they want, but it does talk about sharks, and we've read it a couple of times, and it's funny because at the very end it talks about how sharks are being hunted by people and we need to try to help protect the sharks. And every time we read that line, he's super concerned, like, how can we help save the sharks? So this has been good too, and again, I just let him pick what they want, and this is what he picked. I ordered online, I ordered the first 4 books in the Magic Treehouse series. We haven't read any of these yet. We're reading the Laura Ingalls Wilder books out loud, but as we're getting further along in the series, I'm noticing my kids kind of wavering in their interest. Elizabeth really liked it during the first few books because she really related to Laura, and now she seems to kind of not be as into it, but so we're still kind of just reading it slowly. I don't want to push them, but I think I'd like to start reading in this series because I feel like it might be a little bit better for just their age and the interest they show, the things that they like to read about. So I don't know, I've never actually read any of these books when I was younger. I was really into the Boxcar Children series, and I really liked those, and eventually I do want to read those too, but I'm going to start with these ones because I feel like they're for a slightly younger audience. So I'm excited to get to this just kind of in our group reading. My 2-year-old ended up needing a little bit of help just picking a book, and we settled for this one. We've had the polka dot books before. The only complaint I have about these books, which we've had this happen in the past, is that because they're so thick and heavy and the way that they're designed, they kind of separate from the binding pretty easily. And right now this one's doing okay, but I can already tell that it's getting pushed away. And I don't want to, I try to teach them to take care of the books, obviously, but I don't want to restrict their use of it necessarily, because the whole idea is to have them be really excited about reading and really excited about books. So when my little girl plays with this book, you know, and I let her play with it. So just kind of, unfortunately, this type of book does have a tendency to separate. But other than that, I mean, we really like it. It has a very satisfying pop when you push the little pops in. And we usually sing the song when we read it because it's just Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And you can push the little, these ones are all pushed in. The other thing we noticed off note is that this way it's louder. So One Direction is a louder snap. But they're really fun. I mean, even I like pushing the little dots on them. We also got this bigger book of Elephant and Piggy. We have, I think, 2 or 3 other individual books in these little series, and my kids really enjoy these series, and I think they're super cute too. And we've read all of these books. This is volume 3, and it has There's a Bird on Your Head, Are You Ready to Play Outside, Elephants Cannot Dance, Should I Share My Ice Cream, and I Will Take a Nap. And they really like Should I Share My Ice Cream, which I think is super cute. But they also like Are You Ready to Play Outside? And I like all of them. I think they're really cute books. And then they love that you can find the author of these ones, Mo Willems, I believe writes the Pigeon books, which we don't actually have any of those. But they've hidden little pictures of the pigeon in these little wallpaper pages. So my kids, every time they want to try to find the pigeon that's in the little wallpaper pages. So these are just really cute. I love those little, I don't know what you call it, when you can find little secret things hidden in the books. My kids really like that too. So yeah, we're really enjoying this one. We read out of it almost every single night. When we bought the books from Barnes & Noble, they were doing a special where you could get the Peter Rabbit book and other cherished stories for, I think, $7.99 if you bought any other children's books. So I went ahead and just bought it because I thought it would be fun to have around. We actually haven't read any in this one yet. You know, eventually we'll get to it and read out of it. And I just like to get the more classic fairy tale type books for the kids and Mother Goose stories and stuff like that. So especially just to have around and to have on hand in case we want to read it or they see something that makes them think about it. So I'm excited to eventually read this to them as well. We ended up purchasing the first, I believe this is the first book in the Llama Llama Red Pajama. It's just Llama Llama Red Pajama. And my little girl really likes this one, my 2-year-old, or almost 2-year-old. But the other two like it too. And I just think these are cute. I haven't watched the Netflix series, and this is the first time we've owned one of these in this series, but I'd like to get a couple more because the rhyming in it I feel like is really good for them, and it's just fun. So yeah, we got one of these as well. Also, while I was at Barnes & Noble, the checker, an older lady was like, she's like, I've got to show you this book. It's an amazing book. She's like, I think it's one of the most beautiful books that we've had in, and it's just called Trying. And it's from, well, it's written by Kobi Yamada. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And this is the same author that wrote the book What to Do with an Idea, and I think there's a couple other books out by the same author. And I really like What to Do with an Idea. In fact, comparing that book to this book, I prefer, well, I like What to Do with an Idea, I think a little bit more, but we've only read this one once, so I'm not sure if I can judge. But it basically just is the story of a little boy who sees a carver, a sculptor, making beautiful creations. And then the little boy's like, I can't do that, I can't do that. And eventually, the sculptor keeps encouraging him to try, and he eventually can create masterpieces. And then the sculptor dies, and in the end, another little girl comes and can see what the boy is doing, and she wants to learn what he can do. And the illustrations are just very unique. If you can see, they're just kind of, they're more abstract. And so they like leave room for the imagination, I guess, or they're just really interesting to look at. And I really liked it, but my kids were a little less interested. It just kind of depends on their mood. So I'm gonna read it a couple more times to kind of get a full feel for it. But I do think it's a really neat book, and I like the messages that the author is going for, just encouraging people to. The idea one is really cute too, where it talks about, you shouldn't hide your ideas, you shouldn't conceal them or be ashamed of them. Every idea is valuable and unique, and this book talks about basically that you can learn a skill, you can achieve greatness as long as you keep trying, and that failure is not a bad thing. Failure is just the road to success. So it's really good lessons, and they're written really well, and the illustrations are beautiful. So yeah, I'm glad that we bought it. She's like, you have to buy this book. I wish I would have had this book, and so I bought it. The last children's book that we bought is Arnie the Donut, and we found this book on Amazon after finding it through YouTube channels, watching children's books on YouTube, and my children love Arnie the Donut. It's kind of silly, but I absolutely love it too. It kind of goes through, Arnie gets made and he's put on the bakery shelf, and then he gets bought and taken to somebody's home, and then he doesn't really realize what donuts are for, and ends up suddenly realizing that he's just about to be eaten by the guy that just bought him, and he shouts and says, "Stop, what are you doing?" And then they have this whole conversation, and in the end there's kind of a unexpected twist ending, and it's just super cute. The other funny thing is, when we found it on YouTube, the reader has an Irish accent, so my children always expect me to try to read it with an Irish accent. So it's Arnie the Donut, and I don't really do a great Irish accent, but it's super fun and kind of exhausting, so we might have to take a break from it because they've wanted it basically every night, and I'm like, okay, I have to try to, anyway, but it's super fun. So we read Arnie the Donut with an Irish accent every night. The 3 books that my sister-in-law sent me for my birthday are Matched by Sarah Adams, The Enemy by Sarah Adams, and The Off-Limits Rule by Sarah Adams. And I don't really know anything about these books. She just said that she enjoyed them and that my cousin enjoyed reading. I don't know if she's read all of them, but some of them. So I'm excited to get to these. They're just gonna probably be a fun, easy read, but I am still trying to persevere through the Stormlight Archive books that Brandon Sanderson has out. I'm almost to the end of Oathbringer, and it's starting to weigh me down. Oathbringer is a really heavy book, so literally and figuratively. So I want to get to some of these in March, but we'll see. My reading has been very slow lately. And yeah, with Oathbringer, it's just like, yeah. Anyway, so I'm hoping to get to 1 or 2 of these in March. We'll kind of see. I'm way behind on my TBRs, but that's just kind of life. So I was super excited when she sent these. These are kind of my treat for me. Since I'm not really buying a whole lot of books right now, I was really excited to get some for my birthday. So those are all the books for my birthday book haul. As you can see, a lot of them were children's books, but we're really into reading right now, which was basically my goal. For homeschool, a lot of the time, well, recently for homeschool, what we do is I'll take 6 weeks and do something really specific, like focus on reading or math or whatever. And this time it was really focusing on reading with the kids, finding new books, reading together morning and night, and letting the kids read to me, and allowing them to pick some books for the next 6 weeks. That's kind of what we're doing. And then we take a week off, and we have planning so that I can plan the next 6 week stretch. And I know there are a lot of other homeschool moms that do this. I don't know if there's like a technical name for it, but that's what we've been doing. So it's just been books, books, books. We listen to them on YouTube. We listen to them at night. I read to the kids in the morning sometimes, and we always read at night. And they read to me in the morning, and they read to me at night. So it's reading right now. That's kind of what we're focusing on. And so it was really fun to get a bunch of new children's books, because we've had our other ones for a really long time and haven't bought a lot of new ones recently. And there's a whole list of ones that I would love to get as well. So I might be doing another book haul because I have some birthday money that will probably just go to books. So we'll kind of see. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.